Hello, everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Takt of Destiny, episode 12, the finale of this season. And I don't know if any other seasons will come. What I know for sure is that the gacha will come for sure because the pre-registration has already started. Actually, not on Google Play, but on TapTap. I don't know why, but the pre-registration is on TapTap. I signed up because why not? I have a feeling that even this ending will leave a lot of questions. It will leave a lot of things wide open for the gacha to deal with. So, seeing how I am invested in the world and in the story here, I decided, sure, I'll give it a shot. Why not? I don't lose anything out of that, right? But let's talk about the anime, not about the gacha. In the last episode, uh, Takt and Destiny and not Anna, or no, Anna didn't join them. Anna and Charlotte were already at the Symphonica. And Titan, yeah, Takt, Titan, and Destiny went to storm the Symphonica, essentially. A Symphonica which became outgrown with uh, various crystals and stuff like that, and there were Musicars fighting those crystals, and it was a very dire situation, all because I guess Sagan decided to sacrifice himself in the name of something. He stabbed his hand on the crystal, and then other crystals sprouted, and those crystals started sprouting D2s. It's weird, super weird. Sagan wasn't given any motivation for that. He wasn't given any goal. For all we know, he's just a madman. He's just a madman who tries to destroy the world. Honestly, kinda sucks. But well, what else sucks is that we met Valkyr finally after all this time, and then Titan just knocked her out, and they escaped. Titan, Valkyr, Anna, and Lotte just run because, of course, the final showdown has to be Tact and Destiny, right? Nobody can help them. Why would we want anybody, any of those characters that we developed throughout the entire season, to help them? Why would we want them to be relevant, right? Can't forget about the kiss either. That came completely out of nowhere. I guess that's just how we roll. This stuff happens out of nowhere, and the rule of cool rules over everything. Suspend your disbelief and just watch. um, yeah, hell and heaven merged. They turned into a pool of black goo. That black goo started spawning some rocket pods, floating things, and then Orpheus, or whatever is their name, erased out of this pool of goo. It was weird. It was weird and completely. There has been absolutely nothing that would, you know, direct us, that would, what's the word? Foreshadow it. There was absolutely no foreshadowing to what happened. Zero, null, nada. None. We weren't shown any black goop anywhere at any time. Orpheus, we weren't told about it. You'd think that someone would have mentioned Orpheus. No. You'd think that it would have been shown that, I don't know, Musicarts bleed black goo. No. Just boss fight out of nowhere. Kiss out of nowhere. A lot of things out of nowhere. Uh, it honestly kind of feels like they've run out of time and they had to wrap things up real fucking quick. but at the same time, not. It's Mappa and Madhouse. They know how to make anime, right? They know how to pace themselves, right? The budget is clearly super high. So it's not like they run into production issues. I think the thing that is at fault here, if anything, is the gacha. Is that the Takt of Destiny anime is basically an elaborate ad for the gacha. Uh, but oh well, it is what it is. And we will have to see the finale, see how it all ends, see what happens with Sagan, probably nothing. See what happens with Orpheus, they'll probably be defeated. Or maybe not, maybe Orpheus will be the persistent villain throughout the gacha. I don't know, I have no fucking clue. This is Earl Grey with lemon. Again, as I mentioned many a time, one of my favorite teas. Yeah, I guess let's just watch it. Let's just watch what happens. Let's watch this elaborate cinematic for the Tact of Destiny gacha, and let's see what other waifus can you pull. We've seen quite a few during the fight over Symphonica in the last episode, but we're gonna see a few more undoubtedly. Tact of Destiny episode 12. Okay, let's give you guys some subs. As you can see, we're starting with the OP, so shit's gonna hit the fan real quick. Okay, let's get this started. Takt of Destiny, episode 12, the last one, the finale. Version by subs, please, starting in 3, 2, 1, go. And while we're watching the OP, I'm just gonna mention that I'm finishing up a lot of shows. Yesterday, I posted the last episode of Tsukito Lakato no Sferatu. Amazing series. Honestly, amazing series. Fairly low production quality. Not quality, production budget. Because quality was very high for what they had to work with. Amazing characters, amazing stories. Go watch it. Go give it a watch. At the end of this video, there's going to be some cards in the corner, and you'll be able to watch it or just visit my channel. Tomorrow, we're going to be watching the last episode of Princess Principal, or rather, I have already seen it, and it's up on my Patreon. Tomorrow, it's just going to be released to the public. And yeah, Saihat on a Paladin isn't ending yet because of the episode 7.5. That is gonna end it in its due time. So subscribe to the channel so you know when all those things are released. I will also be streaming myself browsing the anime of the next season. I haven't looked at what's coming out next season, and we're gonna be picking out a couple of seasonals to watch. Yeah, we're straight into the fight. Those are some cool weapons. Uh, you're fighting 1 versus 2, technically. Okay. And the corruption progresses. Oh, nullified. Mines? Oh, uh, that seems kinda unfair. Destiny has just a single weapon and Orpheus has an entire arsenal. And has healing. Yeah. Rockets? Sure. Chains? Why not? That's a lot of ass pulls for a single villain. No. Healed back up. Oh! That's what I wanna see. That's what I'm talking about. Takt joins the fray and gave Destiny just enough time. That can't be it, can it? That can't be it. She's gonna regenerate. So do that before giving her time to regenerate. Why does Takt have to run though? And she's back. And Takt isn't here. What? Should have attacked her when you had the chance. Sound design remains stellar. Cinematic bars? Cinematic bars? Is this an in-universe movie? I think it's an in-universe movie. Propaganda piece? What's going on? Is this a flashback to how Symphonica took control? Okay, so Hell was Sagan's Musicart from the very beginning. That confirms it. Okay, that's a cool slideshow and all, but that's not really what I care about right now. Unless it's gonna show Sagan's motivations. Okay, yes, that's a lot of tragedies. It's a cool slideshow, but it's kinda overstaying its welcome. Is Sagan psychic and he was hearing all of it? Or what's the deal? And that's the big spiky blue crystal. Well, I don't. Okay, so Sagan really is just a psycho? Just wanted to see the world burn? What? Ooh, that's a nice effect. How? How does anything you're doing in any way contributing to saving the world? Explain! Explain! How? Oh, and Takt is turning into Kaneki now. Couldn't you have, like, evacuated the people? Yeah, he just lost his marbles. Yep, that confirms it. Okay, Takt better stab him in the head with that baton. Maybe that's gonna weaken Orpheus. They're trying to make Sagan sympathetic here, but it's not really working. And suddenly Orpheus is just weak enough to take a punch. I mean, sure, it's cool, but that was a cool sequence. That was a cool fight, but oh, there goes the baton. Crystals piercing him didn't kill him, but stab to the stomach and he's out. Sure. And there goes Orpheus. And there go all the D2s. And there goes this shitty CG crumbling effect. And suddenly, baton! Takt's baton on a beach. I thought it disappeared. Ah, they're almost holding hands. Okay, question is he dead? Or is he gonna be rescued and be the protagonist of the gacha? Now, this kiss did not come out of nowhere. This I can get behind. Okay. And she vanished. Don't tell me it's the end. Don't tell me it's the end. Okay. You still have a little bit more. His hand is back, and this is the pendant from which Destiny was born. I think that's it. Hey, would you look at that? Christmas episode. Just on time. Okay, we are rebuilding the Symphonica. Here are a couple more waifus for you. Is that Anna? It is Anna. Is Titan now Anna's Musicart? What the fuck is this pendant, though? Okay, so he's not dead. He's being treated. That was a very open end. That was a very open end. And I can already see the gacha mechanics. Oh, I really could use a second season of this. Honestly. I really could use a second season. I know that I've been grumbling and I've been complaining, but I could use a second season. But I know the second season will never come. Because there's the fucking gacha. Or you know what? No. Don't give me a second season. I'm gonna play your fucking gacha. Make anime for Arknights. Instead of second season of Takt Up, make Arknights anime. I will watch the shit out of that. uh, yeah, that's all, folks. That's Takt of Destiny for you. We're gonna go through the episode again, of course, and we're gonna, I don't know, talk about things that happened, I guess. No after credit? Oh, we have an after credits scene. What's it gonna be? Oh! Well, Destiny is alive. Okay, so Tact is alive, Destiny is alive. That's a good end. If nothing else, it's a good ending. Good as in it ended well, not good as in a well executed episode, unfortunately. Yeah, let's go through it, shall we? Skip the OP. We're fighting Orpheus. Of course, she has regeneration powers. And of course, she has some bullshit weapons. Those weapons can do just anything she wants. There are rockets, there are machine guns, there are chains, apparently. Because of course there are. Because chains were needed at this given moment to restrain our heroine. So, of course, those weapons of hers can use chains. And guns, and rockets, and everything. This I like. This I like. Yep. This I very much like. Yeah. Honestly. I was wondering when are we gonna use the fact that Takt gets essentially superpowers from his connection to Destiny. We used it once in fight against Sagan, in fight against Schindler. Sorry, we didn't use it in the fight against Sagan for some reason. Give Takt a knife and have him just shank the opposing conductor. That should solve problems, right? Yeah, I like it. I like that Takt is actually entering combat here. Of course, he's still just a human, superpowered by a human. So he doesn't really stand a chance against Orpheus. Yeah, they blasted an entire half of her. Oh, what was that? Is that an impact frame? Any cool or yeah, just your everyday regular impact frame. But I like how it's used to switch perspectives. Yeah, she's just half of her has been completely vaporized and she's rebuilding. She's regenerating. Quick, destroy the other half. Now, just gonna talk. We've got time. I mean, what's she gonna do? Is she gonna regenerate? Nah. She'd never do that. There's purple. Don't worry about that, Maestro. Let's just talk for a moment. Hurry ahead. Hurry up, Tact. We're running out of time. Should really. Ooh, we should hurry up. Should hurry up or it's gonna be bad. There isn't much time. There isn't much time. Yeah, there isn't. She's fully regenerated now. God, it's so stupid. Uh, it's so stupid, but so anime at the same time. Holy shit. And of course, they need to have an honest fight, sword against sword. And we have this whole sequence of a fucking PowerPoint presentation that's supposed to explain to us the motivation of Sagan, but his motivation is essentially, oh, people dying hurts me so much, whip me more, mommy. That's essentially his motivation here. That I mean, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong, but that's his motivation. That's entirely his motivation. I love this scene though. I gotta say, I love this sketchy filter they got here. Really, really, it really looks great. And it's animated on once. At least the effects are. I love the faces. I love the filter. That was a great sequence, genuinely. But then again, fight sequence in Takt Up were never an issue. They were always great throughout the entire runtime of this series. And of course, Sagan's plan. Now, Sagan's plan isn't stupid. It isn't. Get all the D2s into one place and seal them away. Problem is, why sacrifice an entire fucking continent instead of, I don't know, a city or an island? 2. Why not, like, evacuate people beforehand? 3. Are we sure that whatever the fuck it is you're doing is gonna attract D2s from other continents? 4. Aren't more D2s being born out of those black meteors that are still somewhere underground? So his plan kinda sucks. Completely. Every single thing about his plan sucks. Takt turned into Kaneki. Cool, cool. The act of offering up your life in order to save the loved one, you've seen how beautiful it is, and thus everybody on the continent will sacrifice their lives, and I will revel in the beauty of this act. Uh, the music of life, the music of death. Pain is true happiness. You know what? Yeah. Yeah. I really preferred Schindler as the villain. I really, really preferred Schindler as the villain. I don't like villains who are just mad. You know? And Sagan is just mad. There's no actual motivation to what he does. Schindler at least had his messianism, right? His messiah complex. We are the superior humans. We, the conductors. We should be leading people out there. And there aren't enough resources, right? We should cull some of those smaller villages so that the life can flourish in bigger cities. And whatever else his reasoning was, it at least followed some logic, you know? It at least followed some logic, and it was very how should I say it? real, pragmatic. I guess you could say it was very pragmatic, but also very real. Like you could you could actually see an actual normal human being, your neighbor, your friend, whoever, thinking that way. Right? The resources are scarce. We should uh, kill the weaker humans so only the strongest ones can flourish, at least until we rebuild. There is logic to it. You could argue that it's the best course of action, even. If you completely set morality aside, you could genuinely argue that this is the best course of action. Sagan? Sagan is just mad. He's just insane. There is no messiah complex. There's no, uh, you know, no logical thoughts behind what he does, what he tries to do. He's just a huge fucking masochist. And he loves pain, and he loves suffering, and he loves death. And that doesn't speak to me as villain's motivation. Perhaps if there was more time spent establishing this motivation, besides just that little slideshow, right? Perhaps if the writing and the delivery was slightly different, if Sagan was actually like, passionate about this. Can't you see, Tag? This is the only way. We have to sacrifice this place to seal off all the twos. I am prepared to make this ultimate sacrifice, are you? Right? With some fervor in his voice. But he's like, the music of life. Everyone shall die, and I will revel in their pain. No, I really don't like Sagan as the villain. I really don't like Sagan. I hope that in the gacha, I keep mentioning the gacha. I hope that in the gacha, he won't be a villain or his reincarnation or whatever. It's just gonna be some, I don't know, D2 mothership. Or hell, resurrect Orpheus. Sure, absolutely. Make Orpheus the main villain. I have no problem with that. I'm gonna go a little back to Takt's transformation into Kaneki. Like, even get the pose of Kaneki. This immediately, I just realized this. Takt's whole transformation and the later mention of a cure, of a treatment at least, tells me that it might be one of the mechanics in the gacha. The way you have sanity in Arknights, the way you have stamina in, I don't know, you have stamina in the Grey Raven, Punishing Grey Raven. You have energy in Blue Archive. You're gonna have like corruption levels or purity levels in Takt Op, and or you're gonna have like pills or something. And if your stockpile of pills ends, you can't go to fight because you're gonna become corrupted. Calling it now. Calling it now. You know what? When the gacha comes out, I'm gonna play it and I'm gonna make a video on it. And we're gonna see how many of my predictions came true. Oh no, he's crying, and his Musicars are, they are in pain over their conductor as well, and that's why we must kill this entire continent. I know they're trying to make them sympathetic, and it maybe kinda sorta works. But for a villain to be sympathetic, they need to have a sane goal and a sane motivation, right? They need to be able to reason about their actions. Sagan isn't able to reason about his actions. Orpheus isn't able to reason about her actions. Her reasoning is just Sagan told me so. And this is another kind of an ass pull. I'm not a huge fan of what was done here. Yeah, Destiny just slaps slaps the sword out of her hand, and just keeps wailing on her. That's a nice, yeah, that's a nice impact frame. And boom! I love the musical note particles. That one single musical note. I love it. Oh, that's a nice impact frame. Complete black, then a bit of red, and a blast. I love the trail of skin and flesh following. Uh, as I mentioned before, the fights, the animation, the art, those were never issues of this series. You really can't complain about them. Like, maybe there is a couple of moments with like weird where a frame looks weird, but more often than not it's just a smear frame, so of course it would look weird. But this kind of aspel, Destiny was pretty much on the verge of dying. Takt is on the verge of dying. He's been so corrupted he turned into Kaneki. Orpheus has been shown to have infinite regeneration abilities. And now Destiny just destroys her in hand-to-hand combat. And now Orpheus is turning into this weird marble thing. It was never shown to be a thing with Musicart. Is Orpheus a D2? Is she a weird amalgamation of a D2 and a Musicart? I don't know. I have no fucking clue. They never gave us any answers. Can any Musicart just merge? Can Destiny and Titan do a fusion ha and become a Dayton? Tystiny, whatever you want to call them. Can that happen? Is that a thing? We don't know. The world he desires do not feel the same. Uh, this world has music. Oh shit, you're right! This world has music! Damn, dude! Holy shit! You made me realize that! Why did I do all those things? This word I completely forgot. I know I'm the leader of a place called Symphonica. I lead 2 Musicart. I mentioned Ode to Joy, but I forgot about the existence of music. That's Sagan's face right now. We're able to defeat the D2s because we have the power of music. Whoa! You know what? You're right, Takt. You're a conductor and... Shit, I forgot. I was so absorbed in my end of the world scenario. I forgot about the music. You know what, Takt? You're right. Let's hear a round of applause for this young man. My comedy has come to an end. What even is this? What even is this? And look, she's crying. She's so sad. She's so sympathetic. You know, the D2s are crumbling, apparently, as well. And I can't from the crumbling effect of this crystal. That's some Minecraft physics right here. They couldn't be bothered to like animate those crystals, breaking and falling over or whatever. So they are just using a mask and they're increasing the opacity of that mask slowly and adding some particle effects. Yeah, it's just whoa, 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 crumbling away. And here's the baton. I thought the baton disappeared. Apparently it didn't. And he's singing his song. I had it on my little post-it note. Episode 12, Takt plays his song during the ED. Can you see it? Maybe you can, maybe you cannot. You'll have to believe me. Well, I guess that prediction didn't come true, but we did hear a bit of his song during the ED, so there's at least that. I like this. I like the fact that she's laying her hand on his non existent hand. I don't know why, but I really like it. I really like the kind of a symbolism of it, because that hand that is not here is part of Destiny herself. It just works for me. This scene just works. Takt went to sleep. We get a kiss. Takt, I love you, and she disappears. And it's the pendant. Yeah, it's the pendant. Yeah. Uh, theory. Destiny uh, essentially like moved her essence, her soul, whatever you want to call it, into this pendant. And that happened before. And yeah, that was the pendant. That was the Destiny soul enclosed into that pendant. And it overtook the body of Cosette. Question is, whose body will it inhabit next? Christmas episode, couple of waifus you can pull for. And apparently Anna has this pendant now. I thought Titan is Anna's Musicart now. I don't think Anna has a Musicart yet. I like that she joined Symphonica. I genuinely do. I like her new hairstyle. I'm a sucker for this kind of hairstyle, honestly. I really like it. And she works in that uniform. That uniform really works on her. Yeah. ED, but then we also have a scene after the ending. Let's go, Cosette. No, Destiny. Did Destiny used to have those swirls in her hair? Let me find some graphics on the Mo. Pictures. Yeah. Okay, she does have those swirls. At least on one of the posters. And on that poster, that is a curious thing. There's a second character that looks like a maid with a halo, a crown of thorns, and like a maid's headband. Is it perhaps the poster for the gacha? Would not surprise me. If so, then Destiny appears in the gacha. Images. No. Destiny in the show has straight hair. But why am I wondering? We can just scroll a little bit, right? Show me Destiny. Yeah, she has straight hair with little twirlies at the end. This Destiny has curly hair. She inhabits someone else's body. She inhabits someone else's body. Oh boy. Oh boy. So many mysteries. So many mysteries that will remain unanswered if you don't play the gacha. Worth noting. Okay, so that actually checks out. So I heard a rumor that the voice actress in the gacha for Destiny is different. I thought that it might be the case that they couldn't just secure the original voice actress and had to make do with someone else. But no, perhaps Destiny in the gacha is actually inhabiting someone else's body. Oh. Question is Destiny Anna's Musicart now? Or is Anna leading her to Takt's room? Or to Takt in general? That is a good question. And thus ends Takt of Destiny. It ended. This episode surely was whelming. One of the episodes of this series, certainly. I don't really know what to say about it, to be perfectly honest. It wasn't a bad episode per se, but it was not a great ending. I had the same exact feeling. Oh no, that would be a spoiler. Because it's gonna come out tomorrow. I guess I already spoiled it, didn't I? I had the exact same feeling about the last episode of Princess Principal. A little bit of a spoiler for tomorrow's episode. I loved it, don't get me wrong. And I know that there are Princess Principal movies, so that's probably why the series ended the way it ended. In case of Takt of Destiny, there ain't no movies. There ain't no second season, most probably. Maybe if the gacha is an overwhelming success, then they are gonna make a second season of the anime, but I somehow doubt that. Yeah. Uh, I feel like if they were given a little bit more time, they would have done a better job, especially when it comes to writing. And if they weren't limited by the gacha, they also would have done a better job, in my opinion, if Mappa and Madhouse had more creative freedom. Um, I, yeah, to call back to the previous episode, to episode 11, the scene where Valkyr gets knocked out by Titan, someone pointed out that it was probably done so that Titan has to escort her, as someone has to carry Valkyr out of there, right? Because if Valkyr was up, then Valkyr could have gone with Anna and not Cosette, Anna and Charlotte, right? Or and Titan would have gone with Tact and Destiny. Or Valkyr could have gone with Tact and Destiny, and Titan could have escorted the girls back, right? So Valkyr appeared for a moment as a Deus Ex Machina to save Anna and Charlotte, and then she was no longer needed, and thus she was removed swiftly from the scene. And we haven't seen her. Like I would have hoped that there would be at least a cameo of her, but no, nothing. Instead, we got couple of new, completely unrelated Musicarts. Like those two Musicarts talking to each other when the in the scene where the Symphonica was being rebuilt, right? Make one of them Valkyr. I'm not asking for more, but they didn't. I bet she's like a 5-star, and you're gonna have to pull hard for her. She's probably gonna be on the first banner. uh, yeah, and a bit of that rushing and a bit of being limited by the gacha was definitely seen in this episode as well. Definitely 100%. Um, Destiny's power up came completely out of nowhere. I would have sooner expected that Takt's action, some sort of action by Takt, would have given her power up, right? Takt singing his song, humming his song. That could have been the trigger to give Destiny the power up she needed to win. And I would have been perfectly fine with it. Takt getting completely overtaken by the corruption, but it not killing him. On the contrary, it turning him fully into half Musicart. And that somehow giving a boost to Destiny. Or giving a boost to Takt, who would be able to fight, maybe not on equal terms, but who would be able to put much more of a fight. I would have preferred that. I would have honestly preferred that over just I was dying right before that, but now I can just beat you with my bare fists. And Orpheus decides that the best way to go about it is also use her bare fists. She was shown manifesting a sword out of her palm. But nah, she won't. She wouldn't be able to do that again. Why would she? Why would she do that? She's honorable. She sees Destiny fighting with a sword. She fights with a sword. She sees Destiny fight barehanded. She fights barehanded. Maybe, maybe if that was actually her motivation. Maybe if hell or heaven were shown to be like super fair before, right? Super. I used that word just a moment ago. Uh, fuck. Super fair. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Uh, and um, that is also that became one of the characteristics of Orpheus, right? She says outright, "Oh, I see you threw your weapon away. Well, I'm gonna throw away mine, and I'm gonna fight you barehanded." But no, Destiny just needed to win, so Destiny won. That's it. That's it. Sagan's motivation didn't work for me at all, but I already mentioned that I really don't like this kind of a villain, especially with a motivation as weak as "I want to experience pain." No, Sagan really doesn't work as a villain to me. I'm glad he's dead. I'm glad he's not gonna be a villain. Hopefully, by God, hopefully he's not gonna be the villain in the gacha. I no, please don't bring Sagan back. Let him die. Leave him dead. And we just ended. First, we thought that Takt died. Then I thought that Destiny with that kiss gave him all of her powers, and that was able to keep him alive for a moment longer. And that was probably the case. He was taken to Symphonica, and he now undergoes treatment that can take years. Uh, they probably went with the plan of putting him into cryosleep. Maybe, I don't know. Uh, and yeah, he's being treated and he's gonna be okay. So I thought, hey, Destiny died. She sacrificed herself for Takt. No, she's alive. She just got a new body. This anime just ended. It just ended. It was an end. It wasn't a bad end. It wasn't a great end. It just kind of sort of abruptly ended. Wrapped up a couple of loose threads and just ended. Kind of sad, honestly. I had high hopes. Yeah, from the first episodes, I really had high hopes for this anime. And uh, I can't say with pure conscience that all my hopes have been dashed. No, absolutely not. We got some amazing fight scenes, we got some amazing animation, we got some amazing art, we got some amazing lore, we got some amazing world building. The problem is that the further and further and further we got, the more questions appeared and the less answers. That was probably the biggest issue for me in the entire series. Instead of spacing out the questions and the answers, right? Like ask some questions in episode 1, ask some questions in episode 2, in episode 4, answer some questions from episode 1, right? Space it out a little bit. They kept asking more questions, more questions, more questions, more questions. And they all kind of had to be answered by the end of it, and they really weren't, not all of them. Some of those questions were answered in a way that I didn't like Sagan's motivations. Some of the questions are new. In the end of the series, they created even more questions. Was that black goop? How was Orpheus created? How did Destiny get her power up? Did Destiny inhabit a new body? What became of Takt? Right? You could say that it's a cliffhanger before the second season, but no, it's a cliffhanger for the gacha. That kind of sucks. And that kind of sucks because uh, I would be fine if it was a cliffhanger for the manga or for the light novel, because then I know I can reach out for it and just continue reading it and at my own pace. If it's a cliffhanger for the gacha, that means you're gonna have a lot of unlock this bit of lore after fighting through section S2-7. Oh, you want to unlock this bit of lore? Well, you need to get Destiny Supreme first and level her up to 7. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of that. But I think I'm willing to soldier through it because if there's one thing that I really loved about this series, it's the world building and it's the lore. It has a ton of potential. It really does have a ton of potential. Animation, art, music, sound. Sound was amazing. Animation, art, music. Sure, they were good, but it's the world that really got me. And I'm gonna play the gacha to experience more of it. And maybe hear more of the sound design, because, yeah, the sound design was great. Sound design was actually great. I love those little crackles of energy, the sound of energy being charged, the sounds of attacks. They are actually actually amazing, actually great. If you haven't been watching this series with headphones, rewatch it with headphones. You're losing a lot by using just some shitty laptop speakers or whatever. Yeah. Characters, I guess, were also good. I There wasn't a character I would actively dislike, but besides maybe Sagan. Everybody had their motivations. Everybody, well, not everybody, but our main trio definitely grew with time. Definitely. Anna grew as a person, and this episode, the end of this episode, really shows that she's no longer willing to just, tag along for the ride. She wants to take an active approach to fighting in this war against D2s. Destiny grew a lot as a person from just a purely mechanically responding, almost a doll or a mechanical construct kind of personality. She actually developed her own. Takt grew a lot as a person from someone who only ever cared about his own music, who couldn't care less about being just shot in his garage, just dingling on his piano. uh, he took the approach of actively trying to protect all music in the world. Right? It was a big change for him, and I really like it. Yeah, a lot of the characters were really great. Some of them, as I mentioned before, were underutilized. Valkyr was certainly underutilized. I was convinced that she will become Takt's second Musicart, but apparently not. She just had a brief cameo in episode 11 where she appeared as a Deus Ex Machina, and that's all we have seen of her. Heaven and Hell, I feel like they had a bit more potential as characters than they were allowed to have in the series due to time constraints or story constraints or whatever other constraints. Uh, Sagan, we don't talk about Sagan. Let's not. Overall, an enjoyable series, without a doubt. I enjoyed watching it. I can't say that I regret not dropping it, for example, or that I regret watching it. No, very much not. A very enjoyable series, just has a lot of issues caused by the fact that it's an elaborate ad for the gacha. That probably sums up this series perfectly. If I have any other thoughts about this series, I'm gonna make a separate video if need be, or I'm gonna voice them in my video on the gacha whenever that comes out. But I also want to hear from you. What did you think of this episode? Did you maybe like it more than I did? Or maybe you hated it much more than I? Let me know down in the comments. What did you think of this series as a whole? Did the ending make or break it for you? Or maybe you were kinda iffy on the entire series all this time. Tell me about it. I want to hear your opinions. How did you like my reaction? How did you like my commentary? How did you like my analysis? I've been talking for well over an hour. So, how did you like that hour spent with me? Again, tell me all about it in the comments. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but I would appreciate you leaving a comment explaining why, so I can improve, so I can fix any issues you might have encountered. If you want to be notified of my future releases, subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon down below the video. Tomorrow you want to be up for the finale of Princess Principal. Then on Sunday, Sunday, we're gonna have episode 11 of Sahet and the Paladin. And sometime during the next week, I'm gonna have a live stream talking about anime that I will probably watch in the next season. You might want to be interested in that because I might be willing to take some recommendations from the chat or from the comments. If you have some anime to recommend, hell, leave a comment right now. I'm reading all of them. If you really like what I'm doing, you can support me on Patreon. There's a link down in the description. For just $1 a month, you can join my Discord server, and for $10, you can get access 1 week early to my non-seasonal shows. Currently, it's only Princess Principal. I'm gonna be reacting to movies next, so you might want to see them a week early. And of course, in the next season, I'm also gonna start watching a couple of non-seasonal shows, probably Symphogear and maybe something else. We'll see about that. But right now, I think that's gonna be it from me for today. I now need to go buy a Christmas gift for my mom. I think all shops should be open by now. Okay, yeah, that's gonna be it from me for today. That's the end of Takt of Destiny. I hope you enjoyed your time spent with me and spent with this series. So, as always, do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Cheers.